Welcome to the Mindset Spot. Today, we are going to have a conversation on mindset change mentorship, especially for the young people who need this more than ever before. Challenges, dissuade, and sometimes actually make a lot of young people across the world not actually to know that there are opportunities and challenges. But when you are at this mindset spot as you are today, we discuss how we can turn challenges to opportunities, how we can become resilient, how we can build a resilient mindset. And here at the Mindset Sport, we do just that. Today, I'm joined by a special guest, Danielle from Munang, who's going to break it down like no other person could do. Issues, opportunities. A 14-year-old who is an innovative volunteerism actor, doing it and living it, will tell you more. Listen before I bring her on to the studio here. Afu, welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Before we kickstart this discussion, let me just showcase what you've been doing.
I'm Munang, and starting today, July 22nd, 2022, over my summer break, I will be engaging in sewing at this institution. The particular reason for this is because it relates to innovative volunteerism and my passion project of fashion design and illustration. Throughout this time, I plan to sew many things as I'm currently sewing a scrunchie right now, but with fabric like these, I plan to sew sustainable goods such as bags, dresses, and many more to come. By watching Dr. Richard Munang's shows on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, you'll be able to see what I do next. Stay tuned. Bye.
Yes, stay tuned, and we are here together. So, what can you tell the viewers about innovative volunteerism? How have you been, and how has the journey been with school and innovative volunteerism? What have you been up to? What have you been up to?
Well, when we last met in about December time, I've been good and I've been enjoying my school days. And as you know, I graduated and graduated with the Academic Merit Award. And now
Excellent.
it's the summer holiday, and now I'll be acting through innovative volunteerism by volunteering at some art centers and learning some new sewing skills at some sewing institutions.
Excellent. Congratulations for graduating with a top-notch academic award. Academic merit award, can you tell the viewers what that actually entails?
Oh, yeah, of course. So the Academic Merit Award is awarded to three students within the graduating class who exhibit qualities of somebody who is meticulous and academically driven. Although this doesn't necessarily mean top of the class, it can be somebody who is top of the class, but it is dedicated to the student who is the most hardworking by all three students, all three teachers, and has very high academic grades. So I won that due to my grades and being hardworking throughout the academic school year.
Excellent. Congratulations. And in the course of doing this, for those of you who are listening, going to school and giving your best is excellent, but you also need to develop skills. And Danielle is doing just that. So, Danielle, can you explain to viewers how you've handled school and then emerging as a top-notch student and at the same time progressing very well with your innovative volunteerism activities? How have you been handling this so that those who are listening can understand that at least you can be excellent in academics and at the same time also excellent in retooling your skills to become the best?
Thank you for the question. So it was challenging 100%, but ch- with all challenges, it's a disguised opportunity to better yourself. So I personally dedicated my time to retooling my skills on weekends and then did my school on weekdays. I tried to get my homework done as quickly as possible and limit procrastination so that on the weekend I could fully dedicate a few hours of my time towards innovative volunteerism. And doing this throughout the years, I became better with it the more I've done it and been able to allocate more time, or even if I allocate less time, I can do more in said time. So by allocating a certain amount of time dedicated to innovative volunteerism and having set time for school and studying, that's how I was able to maintain innovative volunteerism while still doing school.
You turned 14 years on the 9th of July this year, and somebody listening to you might think that, oh, wow, this is quite a lot of things happening. There are people who are 60, 40, 20, even 40, 50, 60, 70 years who are listening now. So I think people may be wondering, oh, it looks like it's so difficult to be able to multitask. So in the course of innovative volunteerism, you've done apparels from bags to uh, women tops, and you've also been designing different um, tops for women that you are going to sew. So what is new in what you are doing now? Because this is holidays and you are venturing to still continue with the sewing, but doing things differently this time around. So what is different?
The difference now that since I've already looked at theoretical aspects of a sewing, I'll be able through sketching and researching, I'll be able to apply this time compared to other times where I was just doing practical. So the good thing about this time is because I already have the prior knowledge of sustainability and some of former sketches, it will be better this time as I have some stuff to work with and some knowledge to bring to the table rather than just being taught, and I can take it to an opportunity to teach others.
Excellent, an opportunity to teach others. So you are doing using biodegradable material to be able to do so, which is really environmentally friendly. Because the essence of innovative volunteerism is to turn an environmental challenge into an opportunity by using your time and by developing passion. So how do you get this material, and what are you going to do different this time around, especially with the new aspects that you're going to be looking at?
So by biodegradable material, I don't go necessarily, not yet at least, out of my way to get specially made things. However, I do use materials that are, for example, if one throws away the bag, it won't take as long to degrade rather than materials such as polyester. So I use stuff such as cotton. And how I get this fabric is I go to fabric stores across the world, both North America and in Africa, to find the best quality for the best price to maintain profit margins as
The
innovative
father of
is
the
also
brilliant young woman who just left the
so
stage, Dr.
I
Richard Munang.
so throughout
Continue,
this
Afu.
okay. So throughout this time, when I go look, I look for fabrics that are also sustainable and cheap. Then I sew whatever I'm sewing with the fabric. And the difference that sets it and what makes it environmentally friendly is the fact that with the fabric, it's good quality and you can use it more than once. And the more times you wear it, the less time, and then I make the fabric so that the clothes, not the fabric, the clothes that you can wear many times without you having to throw it out. For example, bags, if you made a reusable bag that would only last 1 to 2 wears, that kind of defeats the purpose of it. However, the bags I make, you can wear them for more than 1 to 2 times and for many years, rather than just using plastic bags that you can only use once or twice, or using materials that you can only wear the bag 2 or 3 times. So what I try to do is increase the wear time of my products by using high quality material. Not necessarily specifically biodegradable yet, at least, but hopefully in the future, things like that can start to happen.
Yeah, we are doing very well. A lot of people, there is this aspect of laziness. And I would like to really push this so that at least we have a conversation about it, so that those who are listening out there can be able to understand. There is this seemingly oblivious mentality that people have cultivated, this attitude of thinking that things are difficult. Absolutely, there's nothing that to actually put in effort. So the question that I'm asking is, so effort in school and effort in innovative volunteerism, how are you managing to multitask it? Because there are some people who say, oh, I can't study and still do innovative volunteerism because it's a lot. Arguments that are usually being put forward. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So for the people who say it is a lot, you are right. It is a lot. However, it is worth it, and although it is a lot, it is manageable and it is doable. As me, a 14-year-old, has done it, and many other people across the world consistently do it each day. So my motivating factor is just think about the long run, because even though now it may suck having to, instead of watching that one Netflix episode, having to do innovative volunteerism, which might not be as fun, but however, in the long run, you'll be benefiting from these things as you're benefiting your skills, improving your skills, and creating opportunity to make profits and creating opportunity to get known and creating opportunities to be a local and national hero. That's how I got through it. And for those of you who are saying it is hard, you're right, it is hard. But through determination and resilience, you can be able to do multitasking, whether it's a main job and innovative volunteerism or school and innovative volunteerism.
Yes, that's true. Nothing is easy, and nothing will ever be easy. But the attitude that things need to be easy before they get done is a very poor attitude. So for people who are now lazy and sleeping and getting up at 11 a.m. and wanting things to be done, what can you tell them? Why should things be easy? There's nowhere that things has ever been easy. Why should things be easy? So with this young generation that thinks that things should be easy, that's a false narrative and that's a lie. It means that you must be able to dedicate, endure short-term pain for long-term gain. Now you are doing very well in school. You score academic merit award. You are doing innovative volunteerism. For young people like you who are out there and thinking that life is supposed to be easy and that things are supposed to happen through miracles, what can you tell them directly?
To be honest, you pretty much summarized my answer. Short-term pain for long-term gain. So I would tell the viewers who are struggling with managing and thinking that they can't do it is to see the challenge that they're facing now as a disguised opportunity for the future. For example, if you have to spend extra time on school, think of it as a challenge now for an opportunity to better yourself and educate yourself so that you can be prepared for future challenges the world may face. And that's just one of the many examples of short-term pain for long-term gain. So in conclusion, to summarize this answer, I would say for the people who think it's way too hard to manage or even to do one, I'd say just think about how now you're preparing for your future and how this will all seem like nothing while you're enjoying your life and creating solutions that took you years to develop. For example, even people who are inventors, it didn't just take them 1 or 2 days to create the light bulb or to create theories that we use every day. It took them years and years. However, it all paid off when their invention contributed to solutions that we use daily.
Yes, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But the truth is that lies are more consumed and believed more than the truth. When you speak like this, people will say, don't worry, it's just because she has the opportunity to be talking like this. But the truth is, it's about sacrifice, it's about following advice, it's about following guidance. And a lot of people don't even take instruction. And this is what the bulk of the young people do. How have you been taking instruction so that those who are listening and they're not taking instruction, they can know that this is hard to take instruction? How have you been taking instruction?
Excellent question. So whenever I try to take instruction, I try to take it positively, meaning that whether it's mentorship from my parents or from my teachers or from my coaches, I always try to take their advice, knowing that they want what's best ultimately, and they wouldn't be saying this if they wanted me to fail. So I always try to keep that into consideration while taking their advice and using their mentorship and using their guidance as they have 4 years of experience doing whatever task it is to improve myself and to take their tokens of information and actually apply it, not just saying I'm going to do it, but actually making changes that are visible.
Yeah, this guidance come from your parents, and mentorship. A lot of people think that is other people to mentor. Parents play a big role, and you have been reshaped by this mentorship. How have your parent mentor you to be where you are today?
My parents mentored me to where I am today because through many ways, through encouraging me to pursue certain passions, encouraging me to always take challenges and always face my fears, and ensuring that I understand that each challenge has an opportunity behind it. And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So those are the ways my parents have mentored me throughout the years so that I can be able to do things like this, because I'm very likely that if they do not mentor me, chances are I probably wouldn't even be talking up to you right now as what would I have to talk about if I decided not to do any co-curriculars or extracurriculars.
That's very, very important. You touch a very important point of a mindset of resilience, that when you face adversity, you see challenges in it. But sometimes when people face that, they just cripple, they just faint. When we come back after this break, we're going to discuss how to build a mindset of resilience and how young people can be able to take this up. We're going to be right back.
Allah.
Yes, and we are right back, and we are going now to the next discussion aspect, which is the mindset of resilience. A lot of people give up before they start, and young people sometimes have been conditioned to think that things can just happen without them putting in effort, and that when they put in effort, they want to see results today. That's a lie, and that's a false narrative. So you have taken almost 3 years just to build this craft of understanding how to sew, how to use biodegradable material. Some people study today, they want results tomorrow. So what advice can you be able to give to young people when they start off something? Because I think it's very, very funny that you see people who say, I want to do this, I want to do. When they're given the opportunity, they give up. They give up. Then they expect some miracles to happen somewhere because they've been told to do so. And this is one of the biggest lies that ever exist, thinking results can come without effort. What can you tell them?
Like again, you pretty much summarized my answer. So to elaborate, I would say that to the people who think that you can start today with something that generally takes a long time and end tomorrow and see the results tomorrow, that's just not how it works. Because when we think about it, when we see this is a comparison that I would like to make. So when we see the trees around us, how long do you think it took for them to stand that tall? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? No, it took decades for the trees to be able to stand like that. So when you think about it, it also applies to us, as the seeds that were put into the tree decades ago are now finally blooming. So the seeds that we put in now to strive, whether it's academic or co-curricular or extracurricular within sports or art, doing extra training, although it may see like the results aren't coming now, but just wait in the future. Sooner or later, you'll see the hard work that you put in realized, as tree example.
Excellent, 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 excellent. That's true. Resilience and dedication and steadfast focus is what is needed. But when we start and give up, nothing will happen. What you don't do today, tomorrow you will still have it not done. A week later, a month later, a year later, you still have it not done and you will still be there. So sacrifice, put in some effort, as a fool is saying, and move forward. Now, I will take an interlude, and then when I come back, we were going to discuss social media and the impact on young people. But
Okay.
this interlude is going to be about a dance, so that at least those who are listening can also see that we dance, we do dance.
Même si c'est le corps on a conquis, le mongo chopi, même le topsy, le héros en a quoi coco, c'est Adjou en a équam. Après tout ça, c'est le cas de Mikaïlo. Fight the fighter, fight the cut the cut. 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 You got to be proud of where you come from. Oh,
Yes, and we are back after the interlude with a very nice dance. That's culture. We are proud of who we are. Yes, and we are dancing to a song from our village called Kata Kata and Fufukon. It's actually one of the best delicacies. If you ever heard of Kata Kata and Fufukon, then you know that it's from Kom. Yes, we are very proud of that. And the reason why I brought this dance up is that at least we do academics. She's very excellent in academics. She's doing innovative volunteerism, but we also have time to dance to our cultural songs, which are quite very, very important. And now this takes me to the discussion on social media. It's a make or break. It's an opportunity, as I call it. It's actually one of the best things that ever happened. But at the same time, the usage of it is either a positive or a negative. And sometimes the negative seems to be very, very high. Young people get in there to abuse people, to complain, rather than using the opportunity to sell their ideas, their building, their skills, the new talent, for example, like the apparels you're producing, to showcase it there, or come there to actually tell a story of what they can be able to do and market themselves, so they can build a network, because your biggest net worth is your network, but a network of people who are focused, or people can bring value. So seeing what we see today on TikTok, on Instagram, and all these areas where negativity seems to get more likes, and rather than a solution will get 1 or 2 likes. What do you think young people need to start doing in using these spaces?
A brilliant question once again. So what I think the young people should start doing, including myself, in social media, like I say in almost every interview, it's an amazing tool. And without social media, chances are you wouldn't be seeing this. So my reasoning behind the youth using social media and my logic to benefit the quality of what we're seeing is, instead of subscribing to gossip pages and watching people rant about other people for like 20 minutes, things that add literally no value to your life, nobody, like, this isn't going to benefit you after the 20 minutes, after you've heard the entertainment. You're like, dang, this is juicy. After that, you're not, like, it's not going to benefit you in any single way. However, you can still use social media to develop skills and to research about different things. For example, this doesn't necessarily mean only magazines and newspapers. You can even go on celebrity pages and see, for example, Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, Kendall Jenner, all those celebrities. You can see what trends are trending and then find a way to make it sustainable. And I'm just using the example of fashion because that's what I'm into most. That's what I'm pursuing through innovative volunteerism. So you can go through these supermodel pages, go through brands, most popular brands, and see how fast fashion is prevalent. But you can find a way to use those fast fashion designs in a way that is more sustainable, uses more sustainable material, so that although the design may be trendy, if the people like it, they can still wear it more than 1 or 2 times because the quality of the material is good. So I personally think that a way for young people to steer off the negative or slash non-informative side of social media doesn't necessarily mean only start reading newspapers. You can't use Instagram, but using Instagram, but coming out of social media platforms, learning something new or coming up with ideas to implement them. That's how I think that we can move forward from social media being used as a negative tool rather than a positive one.
Wow, very brilliant perspective. Before we move to the next aspect of this social media, let's just listen to this.
The innovative volunteerism sport. I will give you an opportunity after this commercial break to ask me some few questions that you might have to ask, and we will be right back. Let's embrace innovative volunteerism. As you go. Rise up, you and me. And we're back again. Yes, I can see actually comments streaming in. I can see a comment from Richard Wambua, a very good friend of mine and my namesake. He says that actually government should do this or that. They're complaining, like it's always said. He said, we need to benchmark ourselves. As I once said, that we must catalyze the change and action that we need ourselves. I think that's quite very, very what we must do as people in our communities. And I can see many years.
Yes, you could see people talking about government need to do this, government need to do that, but nobody really talks about what they need to do. It's always about of course government have a role to play. They need to create the enabling environment to put the policies for people to be able to create the enterprises, but nobody really talks about this is what I need to do so that at least we can solve problems. And that's what social media, which is a very great, brilliant space for people to perpetuate their ideas and share what they do, like you said. But they go there to complain. Government needs to do this, government needs to do that. This is an attitude that needs to stop. And I think one of the biggest things that the young people need to understand, when I talk young here, not just in terms of age, but it's also all people who are young at heart, to know that at least they need to start rethinking and reshaping their mindsets, because that is the essence of the mindset sport, to discuss how we can do things differently to achieve broader, greater results, to address them. And that is what we're currently doing here today. And thanks again for being on this spot. You are going to ask some questions, but for now, let me ask this question, which I still think that a lot of people need to understand. Do you think that the attitude of people who think that mentorship is about just accepting and saying yes to what the young people want, without necessarily guiding them to do the hard things because they don't like anything that is hard? Ease is the biggest threat to progress. Giving that ease is the biggest threat to progress. They want to travel, they want to go to Dubai or Los Angeles or all this. That's okay, but that's not enough. Shouldn't mentorship be about telling these young people, look, you cannot do it this way, this is the way you have to do it. And if you don't do it this way, then you are going to get punished for it. What do you think?
I personally think that although what you said is correct, I disagree from a little bit, because I believe that although we have our flaws, young people have innovative ideas that we can use to benefit. However, what you said is correct. I believe that consistently encouraging, taking the hard road, and allowing yourself to take feedback and actually apply it is an amazing way to grow, as most of the feedback are coming from people who've already experienced it and know what it's like. However, I do disagree in the fact that we should just take what they say without asking questions, without building upon our knowledge, and most importantly, without adding new ideas. As we cannot only follow exactly mentorship, as then we'll just be replicating the past. However, I believe that every single youth should develop ideas on how to solve challenges that affect their local communities and how, for example, there are issues across the world that affect different areas more. And the people who know about it most are the people who are most impacted by it, for example, the youth. So by using that experience, they can be able to create solutions that can solve the challenges that people in their community face daily, monthly, or even annually. So to answer your question, I would say, yes, it's good that mentorship should be followed and mentorship should be advised, strongly encouraging the youth to do a certain way, as like you said, ease is a threat to progress. However, I disagree with the stance that we should follow exactly what the mentors say, as adding our own ideas and adding our own flair to create originality and uniqueness of these solutions is a part of what we need to move forward.
Yes, and uniqueness of those solutions is the path to move forward. However, experience is the best teacher. The issue with the young people of today is that sometimes they think they know it all because of social media, which try to create this bubble that is very easy to get things done. And so you can overnight create and build an aeroplane and it will fly. That's a lie. Things take time to be put together. It takes time to build a product. And one of the issues is if you don't understand the process, you will not get a viable product. And therefore, understanding the process needs time, needs learning. Even if you have an idea, it needs to be, because what is more important, and I think everybody should understand, whether young or old, is that the foundation, when it is not solid, even if you build an excellent house, it will collapse. And that foundation comes from experience. We can never wash away experience. When you see, there is an African proverb that says, what an old man can see sitting down, a young man cannot see even if he or she stands up. That's true. So sometimes it's good, you say, okay, I have this idea. I would like to take it forward. What do you think can be done so that I can take it forward in a solid way? Sometimes that humility is not there. And so there is nothing wrong to add value to an idea or to reshape guidance, but there is something wrong to outrightly discard it, which is the attitude of young people that we see today. They think they know it all because they watch TV, they see Instagram and TikTok, where they are being told that the world can change tomorrow by not doing anything, but by sleeping and getting up at 11 a.m. That's terrible. So to those young people who sleep and get up at 11 a.m., what advice do you have to give them?
Wow, that's a very bold question. So
smart question.
very
Pardon?
question.
Yes.
I'm not going to get deported. Okay, so my answer to that question would be, to the youth who are sleeping at 11, is I personally love sleep. It's one of my favorite hobbies when I'm not doing school or innovative volunteerism. However, sleep should not be the only thing on your mind. You shouldn't wake up in the morning thinking the highlight of your day is going to bed. Your highlight of your day should be finding a solution for somebody, or developing ideas, watching YouTube videos to develop your skills, and whether it's ICT or fashion or sports, finding ways to improve yourself should be the priority. However, I think many young people make sleep, although sleep is a priority, they make sleep too much. They value sleep too much, to the point that when you wake up at 11, 12, 1, and you go back to bed at like 9, you don't have that much time to work. Whereas if you were waking up at, let's say, 6, 7, 8, you would have more time to develop solutions which can possibly impact communities and the environment positively. So that's my answer.
Yes, definitely. That's very good points that you've made there. But the reality is that whether you are prime minister or president, it doesn't matter. Everybody have 24 hours a day. Because this is a mentorship channel, and for those of you who are watching, please, if you want to contribute, you can send an email and join the show and contribute. This is not a place only for us to speak. It's for you who is watching out there. Send an email and join the show and contribute your own ideas and explain to us how you are reshaping the narrative of this falsehood that we have to continuously complain and blame each and everyone, just like Danielle is doing here. It's 14 years. So those of you who are watching out there, drop me a note and come to the show and discuss, because collectively we can be able to change this false narrative that things can be done on their own with us sitting on the sidelines and complaining. It doesn't work that way. That's a lie. It's a false narrative. And that's why the mindset sport where we are today is trying to debunk this narrative. Like Danielle have said, first of all, we have 24 hours a day. And as I've said, whether you're a minister, prime minister, president, ordinary citizen, everybody have 24 hours. So if you use 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours for leisure, and 8 hours to work, then you will be at the ordinary level. Those who make transformational difference, transformational impact, reduce the hours from leisure and the hours from sleep and add to the hours of work. And that's how they rebuild their skill. That's how they diversify their effort. And when they make a difference, people say, oh, wow, how did that guy do it? No, it's very simple. Effort, focus, dedication, and avoiding distractions and negative energy. And that's what we are discussing here today. And there is actually no magic to the top. There's an African proverb that says there are no shortcuts to the top of the palm tree. There are absolutely no shortcuts to the top of the palm tree. And therefore, for those of you who are listening, put effort, learn, go to YouTube, read, ask questions, and build a network of positivity where you can learn, because your network actually constitutes your net worth. So your net worth is your network, but not a network of negativity and complaining and blame game. Now, before we get to the point where Danielle is going to ask questions, let's listen to this shake a leg challenge, and we'll be right back.
Now I got information, I'm picking them. You battle number and take the line over. Diaspora, you must not careful, get yourself out. One is you must not careful, get yourself out. Yeah, ma, for no send message for me for them. I tell you, don't sing, young, not on for America.
Yes, and you are watching a Shake a Leg challenge, and now we are back. And this is an opportunity, because on the Mindset Sport, we do listen to those who talk and to those who ask questions. Danielle, over to you now to interrogate what needs to be done.
So, because I don't want you to be too embarrassed, I'm only going to ask one question. So, for those of you who don't know, it was a joke. But my question for you today is, how do you feel about the amount of youth who have potential to do something big, but choose to use that capital instead of developing it and investing it somewhere to create a solution places, whether it's to choose to go abroad to search for better opportunities there rather than searching for opportunities within their home continent?
Yeah, I think this is actually one of the most brilliant questions that have been asked, and thank you very much for doing that. The truth is that there are no mentors. What I mean by mentors, people don't speak the truth. The reality is that anywhere you go in the world, from what I've learned, I left Cameroon in 2004 on a scholarship to study at the University of Nottingham. And when I finished studying at the University of Nottingham, I had opportunities to teach at the very university, and later on went to University of Dublin. Why am I bringing this story? Wherever you are, if you cannot succeed and you are not doing something to succeed, you definitely not succeed where you're, because you're going to also meet people who are competing for the same opportunities you are competing for. And therefore, to be given that illusion that you better go out and suffer elsewhere, as they say in Pidgin English, make a beggar go suffer elsewhere than for they for place where they. That's a false narrative, it's a lie. There are a lot of people who are succeeding in this continent, but we don't tell those positive stories because most of the time we condition to project negativity rather than to project positivity. We don't tell and talk more about success stories. And that is why mentorship becomes very important. That's what the mindset sport is to do, to debunk those kind of false narratives that have been perpetuated and made to become the norm rather than the exception. So we're making those here to become the exception. So the answer to your question is that needs to be proper guidance. The truth needs to be told. People need to be inspired. And the truth is that we don't just need to tell young people, oh, no, you sit here, you succeed. No, sit here and do what is the most important part. What should they do? And what they should do is three things. Firstly, they need to discover their why. Why do they exist? The purpose of life is to be useful. And if you are to be useful, then you need to prefer solutions. How do you prefer solutions? By bringing value. How do you bring value? By developing a skill that can solve a problem in the community. Take, for example, very practical. If the community, like now, countries are banning single-use plastics, you are doing your own assignment on Canada's single-use plastic ban. So what does it mean? It means that mothers will not be able to go to the market with plastic bags anymore because that's against the law. But they need an alternative. So can people start to look at biodegradable bags that they can develop? Then you learn and train, go to YouTube and start to learn. That's an opportunity, because what people don't understand is that in every crisis, there is an opportunity beneath. In every challenge, there is an opportunity, and that opportunity is money. Let's take the food crisis. Now, wheat importation increase have caused the price of wheat and flour to go up. People need to start looking alternatives. What are the alternatives? Cassava. I have not heard a single youth forum in the continent discuss how do we start to look at cassava, which is a climate resilient crop, an indigenous African crop that can produce up to 300 products, and start to make sure that at least we push this narrative and inspire and also request those who are working in this so that it can become the mainstream narrative to now start to replace the importation of wheat, which is a gap in the continent that can actually create opportunities and people will make money. So the fact is, these stories are not told and the truths are not told. And because of the fact that what is elsewhere always looks greener, that attitude now comes in. Let me just clarify this. Nobody is saying that nobody should not go elsewhere. That's not the point we are discussing here. What we are saying is, if you are going elsewhere, go with something to offer, because even there, only value from you will matter. So if you cannot build value where you are not going to be viable and needed elsewhere, because people go for value. They don't go for how you look. They don't go for where you come from. And so that is how it is. Over.
Excellent answer to the question. So to summarize your answer, you're basically saying that the reason why people move elsewhere rather than staying back in their home continent / home countries is because they believe that wherever they go to, they'll have a better life. Like, you know, the saying, grass is always greener on the other side. So they believe that. So, but you're saying that there's nothing wrong with immigrating to different areas. However, if you're not doing anything where you currently are, what makes you think you're going to be doing something, whether you're in Europe or in Asia or in North America or South America, if you're currently sitting at home watching TV, eating chips here, and that's all you do? I do that too, but that's not all I do. But if you're constantly doing that, and you think that the second you hit ground in the EU, you're going to be a billionaire, doctor, all of that, that's not how it works. So is that what you're trying to say, that wherever you are, your habits will follow you over the plane? Not the second you leave Africa's airspace, you're going to be a developed person and have 5 degrees and start making like $300K a year? Is that what you're
Absolutely.
trying to say, that your habits will follow you, whether it's from your house to your work or your house to an intercontinental continent?
Absolutely. I think you've summarized it so brilliantly. And I really appreciate the fact that you brought up this topic. This is a realistic topic that is affecting a lot of young people, especially in the continent today. And the fact is, what COVID-19 pandemic showed us was that it shut down the world for almost 2 years. People were working from their homes. And what were they working from their home? They were offering value to different parts of the world, right? People were sitting in Africa doing work that was solving issues in America. People were sitting in America doing work that was solving issues in Africa, in Asia. So the world, the fact that it was shut down from interconnectedness, from the perspective of travel, did not shut down activity in terms of work. What does this mean? You do not necessarily need to leave your country to another country, because you can still offer value-based. People are sitting in Africa and some of them have jobs in Canada. They offer ICT job. They offer value, right? It means if you cannot retool your skill to become valuable, wherever you go, you end up not being of value to the community and to the society. And another thing that people are never told, which I think is quite a very big lie, is that they are not told that where you are going to meet people who have been there. So you have to compete. Imagine somebody who lives now and goes to Canada. You're going to meet people in Canada who are over 45 million. These people are also competing for space. They're competing for opportunity. So you will not be part of that. And the fact that they're competing for opportunity doesn't mean that because you have just come from Africa or from a country called Cameroon or Nigeria or Zambia or Kenya, you will just be given opportunity because you have just come. As they say, Johnny just come now in pidgin English. No, that's not how it is. So that's why this conversation is very important. And it's important from the perspective that we need to start reminding young people and everybody, you must build value. And to build value, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes focus, it takes effort, because ease is the biggest threat to progress. And when you think that things are supposed to be easy, it's a lie. Things have never been easy anywhere and anytime. Because even when you look through history, people fought for self-determined rule. People fought for women's rights. People fought for human rights. People fought for economic liberation. And so when you look at something that is being achieved, it means effort was put into it. And the fighting here, we're not talking fighting of holding guns and shooting people. No. That's not a fighting. We're talking intellectual fight, right? Where ideas compete to be able to create solutions to address the challenges and the problems that we face today. So it means we must be able to tell people there is absolutely nothing wrong for you to look for a scholarship to study abroad. But what you study, you are studying it to get a skill to solve a problem. And that problem can be solved in Asia, in Latin America, in Africa, in Europe. That is it. Because we're all global citizens, right? This is a playing space for everybody. The fact that one comes from Africa doesn't mean that he cannot be relevant to other parts of the world if he or she can offer value. So, and I think this is quite a very important point that you brought up. And I thought, let me just buttress on this. Because I've heard people say, oh, I really need to leave this continent. If I don't leave this continent, I know they really nothing where they do here. Look, it means where you are going to, you are still going to struggle. Because if you're not relevant now, and actually in a continent that have so many challenges, that means that this is a continent where everybody can strive. Food insecurity, no food. That means if you are able to devise a means in which post-harvest losses can be reduced, people have more food, you are in the money. You are in the money, in the big box. A continent where 900 million people are using unclean energy. That means if you are to provide any solution to clean energy, developing biogas, developing briquettes to replace charcoal, you are in the billions, 20 billion space. Look, the opportunities are enormous. A continent that imports 35 billion of food every year, that's importing unemployment and exporting employment. It means if you are to devise alternatives to address the food insecurity, you are in the billions. Instead of looking at how to do that, then you say, I want to go overseas, go find greener pastures. That narrative is not the whole now. Over.
So that's the only question I have for you today. And to the viewers watching, this isn't only my spot and this isn't only his spot. It's the spot, meaning that if you have any questions or you have any ideas that you would like to share on here, we would gladly like to interview you in the future. So to wrap this up, I would like to say thank you for viewing, and it was awesome having you hear our perspectives on environmental and societal challenges, and stay tuned to see what we're doing next. And this is the Mindset Spot featuring Danielle Munang and Richard Munang. Stay tuned on all his social medias to see when we're doing this next.
Absolutely. Stay tuned and see what we're doing next. And I just put in comments here from Stephen Detty, a very good friend of mine, a great thinker, a top leader. He's saying that, as you can see on the screen, that indeed youth are very important in creating innovations and providing solutions to any of the global challenges that the world faces today. Very true, Stephen. And also the Mindset Change Mentorship plays a critical role in building youth capacity in this regard. And that's fine. Before we go forward, the last word, what's your last word, building on the fact that Mindset Change Mentorship play a critical role? What do you really think needs to be done continuously to continuously ensure that at least youth are inspired to take the center stage as you are doing in your own right?
That's a very good question, and I think it's very good considering it's our last question. So what I think the youth need to be able to move into these fields include real life examples. So not only hearing it in theory, but actually seeing the practicality and how people's lives are being impacted from it. Because the majority of humans are visual learners. So by seeing other people become successful through these practices and seeing workshops on how these are being made, not only theoretical, I believe that many of the youth will be able to start thinking about how they can contribute to the supply chain of developing eco-friendly solutions in all areas.
Wonderful. The supply chain of developing eco-friendly solutions. Did you hear that? It means wherever you are, contribute something that can be able to solve a problem. And when you connect the dots, it means we can collectively progress and transform. This is the Mindset Spot. You are watching the Mindset Spot. And now we'll leave you with this dance as we move forward.
Na front toka vaya me Ankara fangala mo ema rufe mana bakasi fala ayonga me boy savana janga fuje fana bana na maho mawe abamanda no de karela so abamanda no de karela abamanda no de karela so abamanda no de karela wani na genyo me ibi bama no me ibi bama yesu na gala